Hello one and all! This is my review, reaction, and cut content discussion of Dr. Stone's Science Future Part 2, Episode 6, and last we left off, Senku the gang were finally making it to the source of the petrification. And as they're on their way thinking to themselves, hey, you know, if the Y-Man really wanted to petrify all of humanity, there's a good chance he might have just, fired more than one Medusa. There might be like 5, 6, maybe even a couple dozen of them. And then they get there and they find millions upon millions of Medusas. The Y-Man didn't just shoot once, he shot 1,000,000 freaking times. So yeah, he really wanted to make sure that absolutely nobody could survive this event. He wanted to make sure that the entire world was turned to stone. And this utter effort, the utter just insanity he put into making sure that happened, making sure that humanity really was ended, essentially, is terrifying. Utterly and absolutely terrifying. Though on the bright side, Senku and the gang now have access to almost a limitless amount of Medusas, so I guess they're going to win against Stanley now. Yay! Not really, but they will find a very interesting use for them, and I'm excited to see it. Yeah, sickening yet beautiful. Utterly filled with malice. I mean, seriously, this is like... this is like wanting to make sure someone's dead so you don't stab them once, you stab them 3,652 times. It is such absolute and complete overkill that they reckon it must be fueled by just pure malice and hatred of humanity. Alright, episode 6, Diamond Heart. And for those wondering, this is going to cover chapter at least 181 and 182. Maybe 183, but I don't think so. And also, just you gotta check out chapter 181 because the title page for it is Senku meeting Ace from One Piece. It is such an amazing shot because I think I mentioned this before, but Boichi, the artist behind Dr. Stone, has actually worked on One Piece. He did a spin-off of it focused on Ace. He might also been an editor for One Piece. I think I recall that, but now I'm not sure. I might be making that up, so apologies if I am. Also, I didn't mention that in my last video, but wasn't the Medusa we found on Treasure Island, wasn't that more like a bluish green, whereas these are golden, or am I misremembering that? I might need to go back and double check. Could have sworn it looked more blue than gold, but I guess he's having, exposed the elements for 3,000 freaking years. I always do love it when anime have someone just speaking just full English. It's never great English, but it's still just, it feels weird. So weird to me. That is a weird shot. That feels like a very CGI shot right there. I don't think it is, but that's just how it feels. Yeah, so of course everyone's kind of surprised by that, but nothing's happening. Turns out these Medusas, they can petrify the entire planet once, and that's about it. That's all they have in their battery. Yeah. I love the look of utter indifference on Senku's face right here. Like, yeah, that was what I was expecting. Love Taiju. Absolutely love Taiju. This man is loyal to a fault, and it's amazing. He's ready to sacrifice himself for the good of the people. He is gonna do whatever he can. It's like such a big macho moment, but it's so stupid. Yes, my man just pulled a goddamn Scrooge McDuck and tried to swim through the Medusas. This actually might be easier than doing a Scrooge McDuck. I mean, if you do coins kind of like just stack on top of each other, so if you try to actually swim in coins, you're just gonna hurt yourself. It's not gonna be pleasant. But the Medusas, there's a lot of air between them, so swimming between them may be less awful, less painful, more plausible, I think. I love this man. I absolutely love this man. seriously, the animators have so much fun with this. I mean, this is how it looks in the manga, but still. I just imagine them laughing their butts off while they're drawing this. And they want to join in. Taiju's like, this is my big sacrifice moment. And it looks so fun. The girls are like, oh, we want to do it too! Yay! Again, you see that little spark in Zeno's eyes when he's talking about the beauty and amazement of science. Though it's a little less sparkly right here because he is talking about something utterly terrifying. And he is also trying just to distract everybody. Yeah, okay, so here, they're more silver than gold. I guess maybe the elements did result in them kind of rusting, essentially. Love Jen. Seriously, this man never takes his eye off the threat. He knows that Zeno's whole big noble speech was really just an excuse to steal Medusa, and I love it. Actually, I'm not even sure if he noticed that. I think he just heard the speech, is like, okay, yeah, this dude's up to something, because this is exactly what I would do. I would give a speech just to distract people. Heck, I have done that many times in the past, and it has been very effective. Yeah, really. I mean, sure, he might have stolen Medusa, but it's not like he's going to be able to recharge it, to swap out the battery anytime soon. So there's not really a big concern if he's holding on to one of those. Oh, that's interesting. He has a very different look than he does in the manga. In the manga, his eyes are much more closed. He kind of looks a little bit irked at being called out, whereas here, it's more of a confident smile, like he's saying, oh, Senku, there's no way you and your team are going to be able to beat Stanley even with my help. Oh no, there is a point. There is absolutely a point. I am very much looking forward to it. I love the wordless communication between the two of them. They know exactly what the other is thinking. I love it, brass knuckles. Oh, that's such a cool design. There we go. There we go. Yeah, Matsukaze destroyed Medusas constantly. That was the whole thing. Back in the island, there were a bunch of Medusas, and him and his people, they just kept breaking them as quickly as they could to stop them from falling into the wrong hands. In the end, when Senku and the team got there, there was only one left because the rest had all been destroyed. Again, Zeno's giving a slightly different look in the manga. Here he's kind of giving a side eye like, oh, this is going to be fun. Whereas in the manga, he looks like a kid who's very excited to play with something new. Seriously, the anime feels like it's trying to make Zeno even more evil than he already is. Oh, my friend, there is certainly something that can hide from the eyes of science. And I am very excited to see it be built. Okay, now they're silver again. They looked... Oh, okay, maybe it's because the last... Yeah, the whole mountain looks silver now. Maybe because the last scene was happening at sunset, so there was kind of like an orange light all over everything, and that made the Medusas look orange or golden, I guess. Interesting. That's kind of weird. Yeah, they certainly aren't building an ordinary raft. This thing looks like a freaking goddamn tank, and I love it. Oh, God. She is adorable, and I love her. Yeah, we're running away from a group of heavily armed assassins, but I think our ship should be cuter and rounder. I find it amazing. They're building a stealth vessel right here, and they didn't bother asking Ukyo for his recommendations. They're halfway through building it before even mentioning what it is to Ukyo, the man who was a radar technician and probably could have given them, you know, a lot of advice. Also, I mentioned last episode how Kawaku's boots aren't really that useful if she her legs are exposed. Francois is perfect. Francois is perfectly covered head to toe. They have the best outfit for surviving in the Amazon, apparently. Real modern warfare science. I mean, yeah, they're trying to avoid radar detection. That's pretty advanced right there. We're still working on that today. Love Ryu's excitement right here. This is my first time with a stealth ship. Yes. Ryu is a man who wants literally everything in the world, and one of the few things he couldn't get in the modern day was a stealth ship, because of course he couldn't. Those are heavily guarded secrets of the military. It would have been terrifying if he could have gotten his hands on a freaking stealth ship. I mean, I feel like Ukyo should know some of the secrets. His whole job was detecting things with radar for the military, so wouldn't the military have told him, like, oh, this is the ways that we are currently using to avoid radar, so just be on the lookout for that? I feel like that would have been part of his job description, though I guess he is still relatively young, so maybe if he was a more seasoned radar technician with a better with a higher rank or whatever, they would have filled him in on that. I don't know. I don't actually know how the military worked with that kind of thing, as surprising as that might be. There it is. A goddamn freaking stealth ship. Well, you know, kind of a stealth ship. It's not actually gonna work. Sorry to say, but still, it's somewhat effective. Love her, absolutely love her, seriously. She's all like, no, it should be cuter and rounder, but now she sees it and she's like, oh, this is awesome. This is really freaking awesome. And she's right, seriously, the design is amazing. I mean, that is impressive. The fact they've managed to make a ship that is at least somewhat invisible from a radar is really freaking impressive. It's not gonna do anything to save them from Stanley, but it's still impressive. Like, seriously, this is one of the first times in this entire series that Senku has built something that just fully doesn't work. Like, he has a plan, he builds it, and then it's like, oops. Oh well, sorry about that. Back to the drawing board. Yeah, so Senku does say in the manga that what comes next is modifying it like our lives depend on it, because their lives very much do depend on it. So he wasn't planning on giving up. He was planning on just, you know, continuing to try again and again, try different things, try alternate means, try different angles, and seeing if some of those are more effective than what they currently have. There we go. There we freaking go. Honestly, this is one of Chrome's greatest chapters ever, because he just hits it out of the park twice. He is brilliant. Also, I will say, the Medusa's glowing silver gives it a much less threatening feel than it was when it was glowing golden at sunset. I don't know why, but it just doesn't feel as terrifying. Here it really does feel more like treasure than a threat. Yeah, there we go. Senku and Zeno both realize, like, oh, that's a very smart question, and something we didn't even begin to consider. Good for you, Chrome! Yeah, not every asteroid, but this is literally 1,000,000 pieces of metal falling from the sky. Somebody should have detected that. And Zeno would have very much known that, as he was, you know, from NASA. He was in the midst of trying to figure out the secret of the bird petrification. Even if NASA was being really covert about it, they would have suggested, oh, maybe there's a connection between the birds turning to stone and these 1,000,000 chunks of metal that fell from the freaking sky. Yeah, so the Medusa is basically been made to be completely invisible from radar. Impressive, very impressive. Again, there we go. There we go. Chrome, great idea. Absolutely brilliant idea right there. Does it sound stupid? For sure, 1,000,000%, but it's genius. I love the look from Senku. Like, this is the look that Zeno gives when he's talking about science. It's just pure delight. Here he is realizing how far Chrome has come. That Chrome is a scientist who, in some ways, even surpasses himself. And there we have it. A radar-dodging stealth ship. I love it. Yeah, so now they can actually hide from Stanley as much as they want. A craft that surpasses 21st... I love it. They're just all glued to the ship. But yeah, it is a craft that surpasses the 21st century because we certainly couldn't build something like that today. Of course, we don't have access to all the Medusas, but still, we couldn't build it, but Senku did. Senku managed to put it together thanks to Chrome. That was such an evil look from Zeno. Such an evil look. He's already thinking of plans and dark, terrible things. Because of course he is. This is so weird. This is so absolutely weird. A wall of Medusas. They turn the ultimate weapon against them into the ultimate shield, and I love it. I love Kawaku also lifted up an arm there because, yeah, Kawaku understands this even less than Chrome does, but still, they both managed to use something they don't understand to solve a major problem for them. They've pushed forward with science, and slowly but surely, they're coming to understand it better. Love that look. Love that look of shock on Stanley's face. Yeah, seriously, them beating Stanley, them actually being able to outsmart Stanley would be amazing. Because, I mean, seriously, Stanley is still calling them the Science Kids Club. He is underestimating them every step of the way, despite them regularly kicking his butt. But an overwhelming victory that leaves Stanley in shock would be so amazing. I love Zeno here. He's like, well, if I don't help you with this, then I won't understand it, and then I'll be at a disadvantage. When really the truth is, Zeno is just so absolutely excited to be able to examine the Deuces and try to figure out how they work. Like I said, I think I said before, he is a kid playing with a new toy, and he is so excited for it. Oh, right, so I don't think I actually covered I didn't cover the episode where we first saw the diamond battery inside the Medusa, but diamond batteries are actually a real thing. They're either a real thing or they're something that's currently in the experimental stages. Like, they have some success with it, but not a whole lot. Though they have theorized that diamond batteries would be really good at holding a charge for hundreds or even thousands of years, so yeah. If you're going to power a doomsday device that you want to keep active for a long time, diamond batteries may actually be the right move to make. Yeah, right there. He just found one that is not at all blackened whatsoever. It is a perfectly fine diamond. I love it. Senku and Zeno have been at this for hours. They looked at 1,000 of them, but Chrome picks up one, and it is exactly the right one. Exactly the one that is not damaged in any way. I love Kawaku. I absolutely love Kawaku with her freaking supervision. Seriously, Chelsea is so confused about what's going on right now, but I think she's starting to accept the fact that everybody around her is a freaking superhuman. And just like that, from a vast distance away, she has found Medusa that is in fact not damaged and should theoretically still operate. So yeah, basically this Medusa was a dud. Its diamond, its battery was slightly damaged, slightly broken, whatever, such that it did not activate and did not petrify the entire world. They need not only a non-blackened diamond, but also one that is utterly and completely flawless. Also love Kawaku comes in, Zeno was using a magnifying glass. Kawaku is just looking at it with her bare eye, and she's like, yes, you're right, I see exactly that same thing. Yes, Senku, my man, is making a freaking diamond and then sticking it inside the Medusa. Huzzah! And we can see the diagram here, and it's not overly complicated. You just need tungsten to make a filament, and then combine that with alcohol, electricity, and you get a diamond. And of course, you also need Joel, the technician, to stick it in Medusa, and hey, it's functioning. Yay! Honestly, making a diamond is not all that hard. The steps Senku explains them are pretty complicated, but you can do this at home without an insane amount of difficulty. That being said, the diamonds you can actually make at home are very, very small and worth not a lot of money. Yeah, my man. I love that not only is he imagining himself becoming rich with his power, but somehow becoming rich while turning Senku, the man who can actually make the diamonds, into his slave. That is weird. That is so weird. Yeah, that's the thing about science, whether you're a saint or a murderer. If you follow the same steps, you will get the same results. That is the power of science. And why when people write research papers on different scientific phenomenon, they have to be so clear about exactly what steps they followed every step of the way, so that way others can come in, replicate, and prove that what they did was actually right, was actually science. Yeah, really. I mean, we saw the diagram. It was not an overly complicated process. I mean, we've seen Senku make diagrams before that are ridiculously long and take 50 steps. This is 2 steps, that's it. And of course, has just so much alcohol and other terrifying things all around his room. I think Zeno may have a bit of a drinking problem. I'm just saying. And also, I feel like Senku is going out of his way to explain almost nothing about this process to them, just to mess with them or just to show them that they can do science too or something. He's being so vague. Yeah, sir, you don't know what tungsten is? I mean, I know that might sound rude given these are Stone Age people, but everyone in the village has a stone-based name. He's Magma. There's Chrome. I feel like tungsten is probably a name of someone in the village. Or at least someone's father, grandfather, great-grandfather, whatever. And this is gonna go very, very badly. Like I said, Senku could have really given them more instructions, as that was a fairly massive explosion that could have killed them. I also love that she comes in while the explosion is still happening. What was that sound? Oh, it was the explosion that's still going on as I enter the room? So that's a pretty intelligent question I would not have thought to ask, but it's proving they are paying attention. They are learning from Senku every step of the way, and they're able to take what they've learned and apply it to this new situation, which is also the power of science. That is a lot of batteries right there. And if I remember correctly, each of those batteries is filled with 10 little things they have to make by hand. It's such a long process, so yeah, this is a lot. This is a lot of a lot. And they somehow managed to melt tungsten, which is pretty freaking impressive, I will say. Also, this temper tantrum was in fact in the manga too. Oh, poor girl. She is not used to science like this. Yeah, really, basically they accidentally completed the circuit, which caused the whole thing to overheat and fry. Oh no! Yeah, there it is. They took them 3 full freaking days, but they've managed to actually make some goddamn freaking diamonds. Love that smile. Love that smile. You may have noticed that these diamonds are way, way smaller than the hole in Medusa, but don't worry, it's all part of Senku's plan. Thank God. Alright, so good for the non-science members of the Kingdom of Science. They have learned from Senku. They have learned from these last several years of working with him. Were able to apply the scientific method again and again and again until they finally created diamonds. Finally created the thing that Senku wanted them to build. Good for them. I know it wasn't like the most complicated process in the world, but the fact they were able to figure out what the issues were and overcome them, figure out what was wrong, figure out what they could do differently, was amazing. I loved it. Alright, next episode. Stone Sanctuary. Oh, I can't wait. Next episode is a really, really good one, and I'm so excited to see it. But yeah, so this episode, they realize that all the Medusas they've managed to find, the millions and millions of them, aren't actually usable anymore because literally 3,000 years have passed and they were already used to petrify the planet once, so they are out of juice. Meaning they now need to re-juicify them. They need to make new diamond batteries inside these Medusas so they can, you know, save the goddamn freaking world from Stanley and Zeno and all their evil and nefarious plans. Mwah. Also, Chrome, just thank God for Chrome this episode. He really just came out on top. He asked the questions, hey, why didn't humanity notice the Medusas? And hey, if Medusas can't be seen by the eyes of science, by radar, can't we just cover the entire freaking ship in them, and then Stanley won't be able to see us either? Turns out he was right! Yay! Love Chrome. Absolutely love Chrome here. And I also love that Kawaku's supervision was used to also save the day, because apparently she can see better than Zeno can with a magnifying glass. And of course, finally, the Kingdom of Science came together to do some actual freaking science. So good for them, very happy, very proud of them, and I love this episode. Please let me know all this down below. What you think of this episode? What you think of the non-scientists doing science? What you think of Chrome really proving himself to be a scientist? And where do you think they're going next with their new stealth-powered ship? Also, what are they going to do with these tiny little itty-bitty diamonds they have now created? Let me know what you think of all this down below. And until next time, peace!